2025. We just got kind of the bigger ones tonight. Tired and had a really busy weekend. We basically moved my mother-in-law's stuff today, amongst other things. So uh, we're not going to get long-winded, but yeah, moved a lot of the preps around and had to move a safe and just all kinds of stuff. It was pretty busy day. So um, we are going to get started now and just kind of roll through it. This is going to be a no frills one, but things to look forward to on this report are AFD and CDU, the conservative versions on Germany. They did well in the elections today. You had the funeral of Nasrallah and basically aftermath of Trump and what Doge is doing, and some of the different areas of government are saying, hey, you don't got to respond to the email from the team. But it seems that honestly at this point was more of a way to try to figure out who is actually working and who is just kind of a deadbeat or non-existent. Maybe we're paying people that aren't there. All is possible in our wonderful government. So sit back, do it. If you like what we're doing here, you can join us as a member. All good. Other place to go, you got links in the description. But we're going to get started. And yeah, hitting buttons and stuff is important. But, at this point, it doesn't really matter. They just, they hate anything I do. So we'll just keep going until they tell us to stop. So thanks for being here. Yes, I am tired, and I'm going to get through this pretty quickly. So, because I need to go to sleep. Good night. Here we go. Good morning. Here we go. U.S. taxpayer money was being funneled to a group in Democrat-led Seattle, Washington called Rain City Jacks. It is Seattle's premier club where men alleviate their tensions of a certain nature onto each other. We're going to move on. That's disgusting. Trump is moving forward with plans to shut down and sell the Nancy Pelosi federal building in San Francisco. U.S. government threatens to cut off Starlink satellite internet access to Ukraine unless a rare earth mineral deal is signed. It's not been signed yet. Zelensky pretty much said, no, I'm not going to do it. Former CIA Director John Brennan says he's concerned about the people Musk brought in from Doge and claims he is on Kash Patel's enemy list. No, it's because you're a lying POS and a former communist, if you're not a communist now. Mexico is advancing constitutional amendments to protect drug cartels from potential U.S. military strikes. Elon Musk announced that the Trump administration is emailing every federal employee demanding a report on their work from the past week. Failure to respond will be considered a resignation. They're calling it a pulse check. What they basically said is they're going in and they're trying to figure out who's actually alive, literally. So a lot of people were pissed off, and so instead of actually just answering with what they're doing, like every employee has to do sometimes, they called like MSNBC, who fired Joy Reid today, by the way. High probability of a Sunni attack in Lebanon tomorrow. Two possible targets. They attacked the funeral of Hassan Nasrallah. Not happened. He's good. However, it will be extremely heavily guarded despite much they would love to do it. A Palestinian ISIS supporter recently ran over a Hezbollah funeral. Two, they'll strike Christian targets, more than likely. Too much security allocated on Nasrallah's funeral will have them vulnerable, and ISIS vows Christians everywhere as valid targets. Good. Way to go to ISIS. Not good. Sarcasm, but I'm so tired I can't even mask it. An Algerian migrant has just stabbed several people in Mulhouse while shouting the usual. LaPointe reports at least one dead and two seriously injured by the attacker. Local authorities are treating the event as a terrorist attack. That is in France. U.S. media reports that a shooting is taking place at UPMC Memorial Hospital in New York, Pennsylvania. Several people were shot. I haven't heard anything since. So if you want to give an update on that, just another day in the world. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, Hamas still holds 63 hostages. We have returned 192 of them. Pope Francis, head of the Roman Catholic Church, is in critical condition after suffering a long asthmatic respiratory crisis Saturday, Vatican says. We have updates on him, and it's not good. For the first time since the Second Intifada, IDF tanks are set to join operational activity in the northern West Bank. Decision comes after heavy pressure from the senior political echelon, with the tanks set to enter the area in the near future if necessary. Pope Francis has had a blood transfusion and is suffering more than yesterday, according to the Vatican. United States defense officials to Fox News said for the first time the Houthis launched surface-to-air missiles at a U.S. F-16 fighter. This is a significant escalation in the ongoing military interactions between the Houthis and the U.S. Now there is a policy debate at the highest levels of the U.S. military about what is the best way to counter the Houthis. In an unprecedented move at CPAC, Libertarian President of Argentina, Javier Milei, announces Argentina wants to be the first country in the world to join the reciprocity agreement proposed by the Trump administration and place tariffs at 0% for trade. So he said, however, for such a measure to be enacted, Argentina would have to leave Mercosur, the EU-like trade bloc of South America. President Trump confirms that Ukraine is going to give the United States its money back. We're getting our money back, he said. He basically wants to do it through that minerals trade to which Zelensky is holding out. Preparations are underway for a face-to-face meeting between United States President Donald Trump and Russia's Vladimir Putin. Russia's deputy foreign minister said, speaking to Russian state TV, Sergei Ryabkov said a possible Putin-Trump summit could involve broad talks on global issues, not just the war in Ukraine. Friedrich Merz, CDU leader, potential German chancellor. He is the most likely candidate to win the German chancellor position tomorrow. That is not official, but it is coming. Elon Musk claims that Reuters is lying about Musk shutting off Starlink for Ukrainian forces. Trump says that granting U.S. citizenship directly to those born on U.S. soil was intended to naturalize the children of slaves. Trump said the United States allocated $350 billion to Ukraine because he had a stupid, incompetent administration and president. We stopped funding UNRWA, WHO, and Human Rights Council, which are corrupt institutions, according to Trump. This is truly incredible. Gold prices are now officially up 50% over the last 14 months and another all-time high. In fact, gold's market cap just hit $20 trillion for the first time in history. Why are people still piling into gold? Well, let us explain. I'll explain. All of your money's been basically turned into paper, and they're urinating all over everything. And so there's so much of it. Gold is the only thing really that's going to keep its worth. So, not financial advice, just a belief that, you do you. Trump signs order to claim power over independent agencies. President Donald Trump on Tuesday signed a sweeping executive order bringing independent agencies under the control of the White House, an action that would greatly expand his power but is likely to attract significant legal challenges. Represents Trump's latest attempt to consolidate power beyond boundaries other presidents have observed and to test so-called unitary executive theory, which states that the president has the sole authority over the executive branch and it reflects the influence of Russ Vought, Trump's budget chief, one of the several conservatives in his orbit who have called for axing independent arms of the executive branch. Theory was long considered fringe, and many legal scholars still believe it is illegal, given that Congress set the agencies up specifically to act independently or semi-independently from the president. That includes Federal Communications Commission, the FCC, Federal Trade Commission, FTC, and Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, all of which enact regulations and can impose hefty fines on business that violates the rules. Defense Minister Israel Katz of Israel says that murder of Shiri Bibas and her two young sons, Ariel and Kafir, in captivity will not be taken lightly. Return of Elia, Omer, Hisham, Avera, Omer, and Tal is exciting and joyous moment for their families and for all the people of Israel, which is also accompanied by the deep pain over the fate of Shiri Bibas and her sons Ariel and Kafir, who were brutally murdered by Hamas and their partners. So, horrible and horrific act will not be taken lightly, Katz says. Pope is in critical condition. It was put on oxygen and additionally had a blood transfusion. Pope woke up, according to the Vatican, today morning, but this time Vatican only said he rested overnight, not using its normal language of rested peacefully. Funeral of Hassan Nasrallah begins. During Nasrallah's funeral, the Israeli Air Force did a flypast to remind Hezbollah how he died. Initial test results to state that the Pope has mild kidney failure. Pope's diagnosis over the period of this hospitalization has been polymicrobial infection, bilateral pneumonia, asthma attack, anemia, kidney failure. Philadelphia Eagles, winners of Super Bowl 59, have declined Trump's invitation to the White House. Cannibal who brutally killed someone with an axe and ate their brain and eyeballs has just been released from Connecticut. Good luck. Antifa members and their accomplices are circulating a bomb-making guide across social media and other platforms, urging their militants to launch terrorist attacks on the U.S. and Europe. Because that's how you get things done. Great job, guys. No words. President Trump urges the You know your political ethos sucks when you have to create bombs and go after people for it to work. Just saying. Like if that's how you have to get popular. It's pretty pathetic. President Trump urges the Taliban to return the $7 billion in U.S. military equipment abandoned during Joe Biden's Afghanistan withdrawal. MSNBC has officially canceled Joy Reid's show. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky clarifies that he received only $100 billion in aid from the United States, not $300 billion. Pope Francis is in critical condition, has issued a new message repeating that you pray for him, or requesting. Kennedy Center, under the Trump administration, will showcase a nativity scene depicting the birth of Jesus during Christmas. Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard instructed all IC officials to disregard Musk's email. A lot of people said that. Kash Patel said it. So, it's not some big riff. They're just, Elon is I think, going to the more secondary and periphery stuff, trying to see who's actually doing what they're supposed to be doing. Zelensky says he opposes Trump serving as a mediator for peace talks. Latest updates from German elections indicate a significant shift in political dynamics. Friedrich Merz, candidate for the Christian Democratic Union, is leading with approximately 29% of the votes. However, this party is still short of a parliamentary majority needed to form the government. Over 52% of eligible voters participated in the election, which is notable engagement level for a federal election in Germany. The far-right Alternative for Germany, AfD, party was made substantial gains, securing about 19.5% of the votes, positioning itself as the second strongest party. Decline of the current Chancellor Olaf Scholz, Social Democratic Party, or SPD, has plummeted to just 16%, marking its lowest historical performance. No party has achieved an outright majority, leading to potential coalition negotiations. CDU may look to ally with other parties to form a government, while the AfD has expressed readiness for coalition talks despite being largely shunned by other parties. Those developments suggest a transformative period in German politics, which has implications for both domestic and European policies. French President Emmanuel Macron has traveled to the United States. He's going to meet with Trump. During this visit, he aims to persuade Trump to support Ukraine amidst ongoing tensions with Russia. Macron intends to emphasize the importance of a unified front against Vladimir Putin, urging that showing weakness is not in the interest of either the U.S. or Europe. The United States and Russia will meet again on February 25th in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, negotiate an end to the ongoing war in Ukraine. This meeting follows an initial round of discussions held in the same city earlier this week, which did not include Ukrainian officials raising concerns amongst European allies about their exclusion from the negotiations. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio has outlined 3 primary goals for these talks: restoring embassy staff in Washington and Moscow, establishing a high-level team for Ukraine peace negotiations, and enhancing economic cooperation between the two nations. Meanwhile, Russian Deputy Foreign Minister Sergei Ryabkov has indicated that preparations are underway for a potential face-to-face meeting of Trump and Putin. And I think that's it. Sorry, I thought I'd be missing someone. Ukrainian drones have attacked the Ryazan oil refinery in Russia. Refinery, once one of Russia's largest, was targeted in a significant drone attack strike on January 24th, 2025. Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu says we demand the complete demilitarization of southern Syria from the military forces of the new regime. Scholz rules out all coalition negotiations with CDU. German Social Democrats rule out forming a coalition government with the conservatives, so that means there's trouble in paradise. Noteworthy, this must likely shift the CDU towards talks with the right-wing AfD. Yep. All right. A bomb threat was made to JW Hotel in Washington, D.C., where Principal's First Summit, third and final day of conference, is being held today in honor of Emperor of America Donald Trump. This guy wrote this long thing, and I don't know. I don't think he's actually MAGA. So, German Conservative Party leader and projected Chancellor Friedrich Merz Scholz, current German Chancellor, absolutely refuses to deliver the Taurus missiles, even though a majority in the Bundestag see it as differently. I am open to it and have suggested giving the government in Kiev the right to say, if bombing of civilians does not stop within 24 hours, the range restrictions on the available weapon will be jointly lifted. It's not that enough. The Taurus missiles will be delivered a week later. This would allow the new Ukraine government to regain their ride and all, well, whatever that, their initiative. Pentagon is preparing for a large-scale offensive against the Houthis, according to Israeli media. In Toretsk, Russia, the destruction of 160,000 tons of ammunition triggered 4 subsequent earthquakes in the area. And Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu says, we will not allow the forces of the new Syrian regime to deploy south of Damascus. We demand the complete demilitarization of southern Syria. All right, friends, there's your crisis report. I am extremely tired. It's been a very busy day. Please hit the like buttons and engage and all that. We appreciate you being here. This is the most comprehensive news on YouTube. So, thank you. And we are going to see you on the next one.